the growing pains are one of the hardest parts. And I feel like that's where maybe you could even, counter this a
Yeah.
little bit as well. But I feel like a lot of businesses will just straight up fail at growing
Yeah.
pains.
Well,
They'll
I
hit
mean,
a
I think,
spot and they can't
yeah.
move forward.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, statistics, they're evident, like I don't know what the numbers are, but I know a really high percentage of small businesses that hit some sort of inflection point and usually generally fail if they
Hmm.
don't fail off rip. Yeah, there becomes a time where you're growing that you hit a crossroads, you got to make the right decisions. I guess not necessarily the right or wrong decisions. It's there's either succeed or fail, but succeed even has sub like avenues to go walk. You can either go this way or that way if you're aiming to succeed. And I feel like we hit those at Greco, and that's what's transpired into the situation we're in now.
Hmm.
So we definitely, the growing pains is perfect. That's a perfect word. I mean, we were facing those early on, and then we hit something of a, I guess, kind of an inflection point where the the marketing engine and the business was getting too much business for where we were.
Hmm.
And it's easy when you're in tech to transition and like overhaul and expand and scale. But when you're in manufacturing and you have, machines and tons of people and a lot of, and you need a lot of space and you need
Hmm.
more space and more capital, like that's when it gets really intense. And I can't say I can't say it enough though, but like we weren't on our end, we weren't prepared, and I'm the customer obviously wasn't prepared because we weren't prepared, but it had to happen. It was almost to the point where it was like, and I'm not trying to place blame on the old owners, but like it was at a point where they had to make a decision. They should have made a decision sooner, but I get it. When you love what you've created so closely, it's hard to let go. But if you hold on to it too long, obviously it's at the expense of all the stakeholders and the teams and the people who are really counting on it to work efficiently. So we hit that point, and just like any small business, it's you either keep swinging and keep trying, or you fail, or you walk away and you fail. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I went through so many emotional roller coasters the last couple of months because one day I wake up and feel like shit. Like, are we failing? Are we not doing this? What am I making the right decisions? Am I making the wrong decisions? And down to the specifics and details, you're just kind of thinking these things over. So, I mean, obviously, from the top down, leadership and the employee themselves will all have to make these minute decisions day by day that actually equate to the bigger decision of what the company is doing or the business is doing to survive. And in response to what, where we came from, where I feel like the number one goal for us right now is communications and transparency, and I mean within our walls and to the customer. So I mean, and that's where a lot of companies probably fail, is due to the lack of like really reaching out to the customer, reaching out to the teammates, and figuring it all out together. Or like some of the top down leadership wanting to hold on to everything and trying to solve all the problems themselves. I
Yep.
feel like that really kind of collapses it. And with us, the transition, not only the overhaul and the move was hard, it was a lot of infrastructural things that really needed to be revisited for scale. We were
Hmm.
not like we were not ready for scale, even though the market and the customer base, everything was screaming for us to do that. Uh, we were left with that decision, and it was up to the owners at the time to make that decision of what they needed to do, and they deemed it was best. I think a little late in the game, but they thought it was best. This opportunity landed on their laps to really make that decision to let it go. It's better if put it in someone else's hands that can, with maybe more experience, that could really help rebuild and restructure. Obviously with that comes hardships and casualties and stuff like that, which Yeah, which I guess you can quote as growing pains, but yeah. So that's kind of that's my take on that. It's definitely not easy. It's definitely not easy to scale. Like as you would think back, when I first started my first business, the idea of like, yeah, I'll just make more money, get more business, keep the business coming in, and more jobs and more, without thinking like, yeah, but everything else has to scale along with it. I
Yeah.
mean, infrastructure, people, things, machines, whatever you're doing to produce the product or service. So, uh,
We kind of
yeah,
went from like a box to like a warehouse. You know what I mean? It's one of those
yeah,
things. Like, and our clientele made that same jump. We didn't go from like, it didn't all of a sudden just happen overnight. Like our scaling, for companies and for like people choosing to do business with us was growing, and it's been growing. And I think that's what's been so crazy too, is that we had a general idea when we started this move, and then we're just like, we could try our best to be consistent. We're going to be a little late. But then as month by month, you're growing in orders, you're realizing that, like, okay, we had a plan, but now we're having to change the plan every week to accommodate for all the new changes happening. It's
yeah,
so positive. Comics Wellspring starts blowing up and we start getting more business. But like you're saying, we can't just bring someone in like tech wise and be like, all right, here's your computer. This is your login. You can set up and go. Let me know if you have any questions. You have 4 people here to support you.
yeah.
It's literally like 1 to 2 people in every department, I want
It's
to say.
literally like it's like we're Captain America. Like we have all the heart, our brand and marketing. We have all this heart and like selflessness and like really dedication. All we
Hmm.
need is that. All that we need is that juice, that boost, that
Yeah.
to pack on the muscle and really meet the needs and meet the hot level of our passion and heart with what we do. So, yeah, I mean, I definitely it's definitely going to be, it's still, we're in it, we're in it right now. And we're still trying to work everything out. But I definitely think there's one thing that has not been shaken, and that's our dedication, our heart in it. I mean, when we talk about in our marketing and branding and stuff, like how passionate we are for comic books, like quite literally everyone on our team is like big time. I mean, everyone knows Pam. She
Hmm.
literally goes out of her way to buy comic books from customers, even though she can literally grab one off the machine. But she buys them out of because she loves the entertainment. She loves the freedom of creativity. I mean, our 2 new prepress individuals, they're both they both have created graphic novels.
Hmm.
I mean, Brian, he's our graphic artist. He's he owned a comic book shop. Everyone's got some sort of, me, like
Hmm.
we definitely all have some sort of spark in us that really keeps keeps the ambition alive in what we're doing here. We know we play a pivotal role in the creator's success, so it's our duty to like figure these things out. So that's definitely one amazing thing that's we're doing, and we're really leaning into with the brand. Now it's just like I just said, we just need to get that juice going, and that's harder. I mean, it's literally the lab scientists in the lab trying to create the crazy formula that's gonna, you know, turn them into Captain America. It's
Hmm.
like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's like we're still trying to figure out what that formula is. And I think it's just right to be honest about that. We're not perfect. We're not a giant corporation. We don't maneuver quick and pivot quick. Like,
Hmm.
yeah, we're very limited too. Uh, Although we're niched, we're up the bat against large corporations,
Hmm.
competitors. Every competitor that anyone else has used is, besides the small printer down the street, like everyone else is just astronomically larger than us. They can
Yeah.
they can do things that we can't do, that we're trying to do. But there's one thing they lack, and that we have, is that our literal dedication and commitment to the craft itself and the love for comics itself, and our community. Like we have so many personal relationships with so many people in our community. I think I think all that in itself is enough juice to really look at our predicament and say it's worth investing into. It's worth you know it's worth investing into the machines and the people and the time and the
Hmm.
effort and the quality and all that stuff to meet those things. So That's uh that's what's interesting about our situation right now, honestly.
Your comic books to life and print your comics with